Well, good morning from Antwerp. So we had a little issue yesterday in that the lock is broken in the river and our boat is stuck there until the lock is fixed. So we were supposed to sail down the river last night into Antwerp and be right here in the harbor, but that didn't happen. But instead of just, you know, scrapping the port, they fixed it, and I'm so happy about that. They arranged buses. They gave us 50 euros for lunch. They've arranged it to where we can go into 3 different shops and have a beer tasting, a waffle tasting, and a chocolate tasting, all for free. We can go into the cathedral today after Mass for free. That would normally cost. And we have tour guides that are going to take us on a walking tour. So we are into Antwerp in a very foggy day, but it's not raining, so I'm happy about that. If you look at this castle, you're going to see dark stone at the bottom. That dates back to the 11th century, and then the lighter stone on the top is from the 16th century. So in this case, this castle was built up. Usually when you see older buildings and castles, you've got the older part and then there's an additions built to the side. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, this area is, Antwerp dates back to BC. I mean, there's been a settlement here for a very long time. In the 11th century, this was a walled city, and you can still see parts of the old medieval wall sticking out in between the buildings there and over there.
Belgian chocolate is good quality, meaning at least 80% is cacao butter.
So as part of the tour, we get 2 chocolates each. They're called pralines or pralines. See, being from Louisiana, what we think of is the New Orleans pralines, which are more of a patty, a sugar patty with pecans in it. Here, we're talking the little gourmet chocolates are called pralines. So we get 2 each, and let's go get them.
You've got the political power and you need the money. There they are. The guild houses. The master of the guilds. And there are plenty of them. I told you it is not like, how do you call that? Where workers are organized in the United States.
Union.
Not union. People say, no. It was the craftspeople that were organized. Strict organized. The prices were fixed. Everything. No competition. They had money if there's no competition. Nowadays you have a restaurant. Ma'am, you have a restaurant. You have to do competition.
We're entering a medieval walkway, so a lot of the roads have been widened now because of automobiles. But of course, back in the medieval times, there were no cars. It was just on foot or on horse, and the streets were very narrow. So that's what we're going through now. Interesting fact, you see the cathedral behind me. The very rich paid to be buried inside the cathedral under the ground, and there is a slab marking their grave. The rich were buried in front of the cathedral under the cobblestones and had markers. The poor were buried in a field right here. That was a graveyard up until the 18th century. It is now where the Christmas market is. And I asked, and yes, the bodies are still under there. They were not moved. So this is a graveyard now, unmarked, and this is where they're setting up for the Christmas market. We are back in front of the cathedral. The walking tour has ended. I really have enjoyed these walking tours. So we've got a local guide in each city. They're giving us their, the knowledge of the area, pointing things out to us, telling us good places to eat, good places to get a beer, 'cause that's what Belgium's known for. And then we have free time. So we're hungry. It's lunchtime.
Yeah, we got our bearings because of the tour.
Right. So we know where we're at. We know where things are. We're not just like running willy-nilly into a town. And you get an appreciation for things when you hear the history and things like that. So now we get to go wander on our own and get something to eat. Oh, it's so cool. It's Sunday. You just hear the church bells just going off right now. There's a service going, probably the service is ending right now in the Catholic cathedral. And then we're just walking, looking down these beautiful streets. I love the architecture. It's just like, I love all the buildings are connected, but they have their own individuality.
Lots of food choices. Any kind of food that you want to eat, right here. They got, is it frit? Am I saying it right? I keep wanting to say it frites. Okay, which are French fries. Lots of
French fries, Belgian
lots of those.
fries.
And you absolutely cannot ask for ketchup because the way they eat their French fries here is with mayonnaise. They dip it in the mayonnaise. But we are, I think, heading towards the waffle place. We're gonna get our waffles and our coffee. Oh, and another cool little point is, you see that church? There's actually a pub, a beer garden attached to it, which is insane. So we are going to the Rudenhode, which we're gonna get some beef stew. Came recommended. Our tour guide said you absolutely must eat here. So we're gonna check it out if it's open. Okay, so we decided not to do the waffles right now. We've decided to go and get our lunch. We're getting kind of hungry. We get our free beer and so liquid lunch. But I think we're gonna get some stew as well. So we get our free beer sample, the De Koning. Hope I'm saying that right. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's got some pretty good head on it. The head is like super frothy in this area. It's delicious. It's good beer. Really good beer. So what do you think about the beer?
I don't drink beer.
I know.
They brought me one, but I don't drink it. So I'm eating the
Anyone that
bread
drinks
instead.
beer at the table. He's got hers. Dave's got his. It's good though, right?
It's good stuff, yeah. I'm not a beer guy either. There's like a nice bitterness to it. It's got a lot of depth going on, so maybe I'll turn into a beer guy.
No, you won't.
So if you guys don't want to finish it, just let me know.
I know someone who likes it, yeah.
But the bread is warm and it's really tasty.
Holy mackerel. Or in this case, rabbit. Look at this.
Shrimp, so that's why I called it that.
I am very, very, very pleased with this dish that I picked. Got some applesauce with the beef.
Which is weird. Beef stew, fries, and applesauce. Not things I would normally put together, but that's how they eat it here, so we will see.
I am super happy with my selection. Look at this rabbit. I can't tell you the last time I can recall having rabbit. So basically it's rabbit stew. You have potatoes, golden potatoes. You have, what is this? Is this a carrot? No, that's more rabbit. So
More
it's
rabbit.
Yeah, it's rabbit and potatoes in a stew with some little like leaf thingies. They're probably edible, I don't know, or maybe that's just the garnish, but this, look at there.
Ooh.
Wow,
That was an excited face.
that's interesting. It's sweet, almost like got a cinnamon kind of flavor to it. That's delicious. Very good, very sweet.
So I ordered the beef stew. I had this in Bruges as well, but I'm curious to see if it has a different flavor to it since we're in a different city. It also came with fries, and it came with applesauce, which is okay. Stew. It tastes slightly different than the one I had in Bruges. It's got more pepper to it, but it still has that underlying sweet taste. The meat's very tender. Jason's giving me a piece of his rabbit to try. I don't think I've ever had rabbit in my life.
Tastes like chicken.
It does kind of taste like chicken. Now, the stew gravy on his is not the same as mine. Looking at them, they look the same. They've got the same consistency, but his definitely has a sweeter flavor to it.
It's all about the gravy. So, I'm enjoying my rabbit, and then the gentleman brings over our second beer, La Chouffe. La Chouffe. Am I saying that right?
Sounds perfect to me.
Not La Freak or La Fille. That's good. And I still actually have some more of everybody else's because they didn't like it. They gave it to me. So cheers to me. Okay, it is time to walk into the cathedral and see what this thing looks like from the inside.
And Brian mentioned earlier that the ultra-rich could get buried inside the cathedral. There are grave markings all along the floor. Most of them you can't read anymore because of all the feet that have come over it, have worn them down. But this one I can make out a date. It looks like 1679. October 1679 is when this person died and was laid to be buried right here at the front of the church. The cathedral is laid out in the shape of a cross. So here's the main altar. It's in the top piece. What we're looking at right now is the piece, the T piece that comes across, and then the cathedral goes way back. So you can sort of see it on the outside, but when you get inside, you can really tell the shape of it. So if you've ever wondered why there's so much art in churches, there's two reasons. Number one, many years ago, most people couldn't read. So the paintings, the sculptures, the carvings were telling the stories to where anybody could look at this and understand what's happening. Number two is the wealthy, sometimes instead of donating money to a church, is they would have a piece of art commissioned and sometimes paint themselves into it somewhere, use their face as a model, and that way they stay in the church for all time.
Down the steps here is the crypt inside the church. This is amazing.
That cathedral was incredible. I'm so glad we got a chance to visit there. And now we come out and like the town squares come into life, but it's like 1:45 and we have to be back on the bus at 2, so we have no more time here in Antwerp, and now we have to go get back on the bus, get back to the ship.
Yep, let's go. We are in the lock, just waiting. They're going to drain some of the water. They're saying about 2 meters, which is about 5 or 6 feet lower water level, and the lock will open, and then off we go. Really neat watching the locking process. First time we've ever got to witness anything like that. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. You don't realize how many times the water levels change. You know, land. There's high land, there's low land. And the rivers, you gotta have the locking systems to be able to navigate. Okay, we are going down now. Water level's going down. We're going way more than 6 feet. Not sure exactly how far down we're going, but
So the locks are something that we were not expecting because we didn't know anything about them. We weren't expecting this on this river cruise. There's lots of locks. Like, I had no idea that rivers and canals had so many locks in them. But it's like every couple of hours we seem to be going through some kind of lock. Some are small, some are big. This is a big one. So right now we are all the way to the right side of the lock. This
this is the first time we've done it with another boat.
Yeah.
Big old barking barge.
Yeah, it's like, some kind of construction barge next to us, and they're bringing a third boat into the lock before they close it, and then we're either going to go up or down, we don't really know, before we go out the other side. So this is really interesting.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
And all these barges we see, they have cars on the back of them.
Yeah, there's always...
They make stops and they stay for a while, so it's a way to get around.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, we're used to a cruise ship, an ocean cruise, that the bridge is on the front of the ship. That's the bridge of that ship. The bridge is just like a little box perched on top. So if you look at the walls, you can see we dropped a lot, maybe 8 feet or more. 10 feet?
12.
We dropped a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, we were up even with the wall, and now we're way below it. So we are moving out now. So 3 ships came in, both the doors shut, they lowered the water level, and now they've opened the front gate and we're going out.
You think about it like an 8-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
Think about a 9-foot ceiling, a 10-foot ceiling. That's high. That's higher than
huge
that.
drop.
That's 12 feet.
Yeah. So look, there's an air traffic controller up there for these locks.
all along the watchtower.
That is a wrap for us from Belgium. We have spent the last 3 days in Belgium. We have been to Bruges. Actually, we docked in Ghent, went to Bruges. We were in Brussels yesterday and Antwerp today. We are sailing down the river and we'll be back in the Netherlands tomorrow. And that is our last day of this river cruise. And the next day we fly home from Amsterdam. I hope you're liking this video series. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And we'll see you tomorrow in the Netherlands. Bye.